if you cross the river. It's a specific river. Blessings of me. Chickens will alas devour you. Not particular chickens, just chickens in general. It is distant from the feeling of the pain of my heart. So the sun shines brightly, mercilessly pilfered from the Semitic languages. YouTube, we are back doing the Creole. If you haven't seen the other videos in this Creole series before, just go back, one or two, actually two, I think, and then you'll see the whole thing shape up. So we are going to just jump right back in because time is always of the essence. Time is never on our side because we have so much to do. We have an entire world of languages to work out the details of, and only about 4 hours a week to do it in. So that's all right. We make it work. So we have our phonology for the Creole set up here. I'll just push this over to the side so you can see it. This is our Creole phonology right here. We have some adaptations, some sounds that change going from Kranzlor to the Creole. And then we have our first example. The Creole, our tentative name is Salal Salah, which means something like broken or rotten or stopped up speech. Bit judgmental, but sometimes that happens. And then we have a little mistake that I made, which this should be tal sukala nawapakak. Okay, so let's innovate a little bit more. Quain had a good suggestion that maybe this talsu, which in Kranzlor is the word not and want. So do not want. This is the negative imperative. Do not want, but maybe this becomes less transparent in Salal Salah, and so we get something like tasu. And I'm wondering, because we have these, I have a certain temptation to voice this intervocalically like it would be in Linodilif, but for now, let's just leave it. Tasukala nawapakak. Okay. There are some proposed universals of Creoles, which are, again, controversial, blah, blah, blah. But, we're taking off the linguist hat. We're putting on the Conlanger hat. So what would those be? Those are things like having articles for specific noun phrases. This would not count because you're not talking about a specific chicken or specific chickens. Having free morphemes expressing tense, aspect, and mood categories. I'm not going to go through all of them. I'll just go through a few that might be relevant for us. So let's write these down. Articles, marking specific piece. Preverbal, free, tam, tense, aspect, and mood. Relatives, using relative pronoun and subject copying. That might lead us a bit into complicated territory. So let's leave that for now. What about this? State of verbs rather than predicate adjectives. Well, this is also true of both substrate and superstrate language. So, we're not going to be tempted to do anything else. Existentials being the same as possessive constructions. So instead of saying there are X, you'd be saying something more like the world or existence has X. So you'd be using the same construction that you use for possession to mark the existence of things. Let's see what else. Anything else that's interesting? Bimorphemic question words. So these are some proposed Creole. I don't know if I'd go so far as to say universals, but characteristics. This is so Sparsh. in this this theory, which is associated with Bickerton, this is the TAM markings are preverbal. Yeah. So let's see if we can play with this. So let's take the sun. Let's take one of these sun sentences. So the sun shines brightly. In Lanadilef, this is the sun shines a great shining. I think we should keep that because it's awesome. Mercilessly pilfered from the Semitic languages. Right. So sun shine great shining. But I think it's going to, this will be our gloss. Sunshine, great shine. Do we have shine? We do, which is mrit. So sun, mrit, great, mrit. We don't have great. Do we have big? No, we don't. Okay, so we need to make that. And let's see. Do we have sun? We do. It's a re, I think, right? Yes. Okay, so we need a verb or a state of verb meaning great in Proto-Socrat, or we can just take it from Lanadilef. Maybe that's the easiest way. So let's say kas. So that's going to come from kas, the attributive form of the word of the verb ka, meaning great. So re mrit kas mrit. Okay, so then let's do our little adaptation dance. And that looks like le malit kas malit. Malit. There we go. This gives us an opportunity to mark our specific noun phrase, so the sun. Let's see what we can use for that. Do we have a demonstrative? We do. Da in Proto-Socrat and da into Kranslor. So I don't know how this happened, but our article is la. So we could just let's just call it that. Determiner. Lale malit kas malit. Yeah, so I don't know how we ended up with the same the same determiner that most of the Romance languages have. But we did. Lale malit kas malit. The sun shines brightly. All right. I think we can step up the game a little bit. Step up the difficulty. Let's try our poem. So this is not necessarily going to be great poetry, although the original is great poetry. But we are going to try to translate into the Creole this poem, which is the translation from a completely different language, which is actually ironically related to Kranslor. Anyway, so you. We do not have. Do we have? Yeah, we do. We have ga. So ga cross que. Ga que river. I guess ngri. This is specifically a navigable river. And then we need an if or a when. How are we going to do this? We don't have an if, and I don't want to use an if from Proto-Socrat or from Kranslor. I would like to consult the World Lexicon of Grammaticalization, but I will do that off screen because I am not allowed to show it to you. So I will put myself here and I will find, yes, let's just open it up and let's see what we have for if. Conditionals. All right. Well, we have a copula turning into a conditional. We have, what else do we have? We have questions turning into conditionals. We have the verb to say turning into conditional. Oh, I like that. Yeah, let's take the verb to say and turn that into a conditional. Okay, so I'm going to close this and back to the work. So we have say, which is sla, but we're going to mess with it so it doesn't look exactly like the word to speak. Slaga quengri. So this will be if you cross river, and this is the river. It's a specific river. La ngri. Okay, so let's do our adaptation. So sla is going to turn into sala. Ga is going to turn into wa. Kwe is going to turn into kawe. There we go. Actually, I don't think we need to epithesize before wa. I think that's legit in Lenadilef. So let's see. I think we can have W here, and I'm pretty sure we can have ya here. So that changes something. So noa is fine, and kwe is fine. Sala wa kwe la, and then this is going to turn into something special. Ngri. What do we have? N. So we're going to have something like na. If we follow our rules mechanically, we get something like nawali. But I almost think that we should just delete that G. So if the G is in between two consonants, if it stops in between two consonants, just delete it. So then we have something like nali. I think that's a more plausible adaptation of ngri than nawali. Interesting points coming in from the chat. So Galactic Sand says, another thing to consider is that maybe the Kranslor that was learned is not the formal version. Now, because we haven't really developed much of Kranslor, we can easily just say by fiat that that's the case, and then work on developing Kranslor internally. So I think that we might want to do just that. And then Sparsh asks, would Lenadilef speakers be tempted to use Lenadilef endings for Kranslor words to differentiate them? I think that's a cool thought. And specifically in terms of Lenadilef endings, what I think we may do, because I'll have to get this out here. We actually have a situation where the Creole is being spoken alongside early modern Lenadilef. And so what I think might happen is that the Creole might be, after Kranslor's influence recedes, the Creole will be influenced by modern Lenadilef as the high status language, and we might actually start to see Lenadilef grammatical endings popping onto words in the Creole. So that's something that I think will happen later on. So we would get things like these case endings, perhaps. So accusative e, dative unum. Those might come in eventually. Anyway, yeah, right. So let's take this salah and make that not salah, because that's the word for speak. And let's instead do something like sa. So we have a proclitic if. Sawa kwe na. Why is this a tongue twister? There's nothing hard here. Sawa kwe la nali. That works. I think that's kind of cool. Yeah. So if you cross the river, me's blessings never now will you receive. Okay, so how are we going to do this? So Myinh blessing never now not receive. But I think that we are not going to have the freedom here with the word order that we have in Lenadilef, unless it is to mark focus, which I don't think it is here. So you will no or let's make this fancier. No more will you receive the blessings of me. All right, so how do we do this? Never. Maybe we do something like no time, or no when, no time. We don't have a word for time. We have a word for to be on time. Maybe we can steal that. I don't really love that. Maybe we can just take another word that we haven't given a meaning to yet. Oh, we could use this. Napit, mbit. That's time. Great. So not tar. So tal, and then so tar mbit. Not now. So no time. Now. So we're gonna have multiple negation here. Now. We don't have anything now. So maybe instead of now, we could use something like this time, or we're not getting too much help here. Let's just use it. Let's just take it from Lenadilov, so Khan. But do we want to adapt that Khan? Let's adapt it. Even though it might not actually be adapted, let's adapt it so that it can be pronounced also by the speakers, the L1 speakers of Kranslor in the pidgin. So tar mbit khan tar receive pa. Great. Me. And actually, what's the name of me in Kranslor? That's a good question. Nmis. So this would be the Kranslor name of the goddess, but I think the worship of me reached Lenadilov through the language me, and so we will not use the cognate here. So we'll just call it me. And then what's blessing? Scam. Where did it go? Scam. Okay. So let's adapt this then. Tal, beat. So what do we have here? Mawit. I wonder about these things that are kind of like prenasalized stops, whether they would actually just change into nasals. Yeah, I kind of feel like they should. Okay, so talmit, han, talpa, mi, sakam. We might be able to have SK clusters in Lenadilov. Let me see. Apologies for the jumping around here. My brain is working hard. I don't know if we have... Yeah, we don't have a lot of material. That's the only problem. Let's say we can't for now. So we have sakam. Okay. And I like this idea of making the negative sort of criticize onto the following word. All right. Yeah, Elijah, I agree. Mies would probably just turn into mies if we were going to use the cognate. Yeah, we got to get the King James translators on this. I think they would do a fantastic job. Maybe we could try that. We can try to do our best Jacobian English. All right, let's finish it. Most translated text in this con world. Chicken, alas, devour you. So chickens. And so we have chicken we have our word for chicken already, right? Pakak. For alas, I think we should just steal the Lenadilov word because it's like an exclamation. I think that coming from the substrate would definitely be plausible. Helish, to devour. No, let's get our word for devour from Kranslor. Where on earth devour? Pud. Ka. And then Pakak, aluth. I think we are going to need to turn this into elut for the Kranslor speakers. Then we will take this and get the schwa into it. So tapud wa. Pakakalu tapud wa. Chicken, alas, devour you. And whether we want to introduce pluralization, see, the thing is, I would love to have a reduplicative plural here. That would be a lot of fun. But neither substrate nor the superstrate language marks pluralization. So, I think our chances there are pretty slim. And then what is the last line? Feeling, it is distant from the feeling of the pain of my heart. So this would be something like, far from heart pain feel would be our gloss. Do we have a word for far? No. Maybe we could get a word for far from. Let's just steal something that we haven't used yet. Maybe musit, that could be far. So nzit, nasit, and maybe this we could just say this means far from. So it's like a stative verb to be a transitive verb to be far from, and then we just need a word for heart, potet, which we haven't adapted into Kranslor. Okay, we need to do that. We need to do that quickly. And Sparsh, keep me honest again, tapul. That's correct. Okay, good stuff coming in the chat, which I will take a look at very shortly, but I need to derive the word for heart in Kranslor, which means I need to get these sound changes. You see the depths of it here. And C1 is the old name for Kranslor, so we'll take that. We'll fill up this sound change thing, and then we'll see potet. And what happens? Potet. Okay, well that wasn't too groundbreaking, but had to be done. And let's see. Nope. Where was I? Oh, it's so hard to see these things. Nope. Okay, that's just a fail. Potet. Which means that it's going to turn into nasit, patet, pain. We don't have anything like pain. But we have a word for suffer. Nzir. So something like nasil, and then field, pibrun, prun, which will get adapted as parun, or palun rather. Okay. Let's see, we need to add any determiners. I think we do, because we have some specific nouns. So, blessings of me. Chickens will alas devour you. Not particular chickens, just chickens in general. Yeah. Oh, Quain, you found something. You found my Achilles heel. I've forgotten about the P issue. Okay. So let's fix that. The fool. Oh, this is working. This is much better. Okay, so wa Quain la nali. Tamit han tafa mi sakam. Fakak alut tafulwa. Nasit fatet nasil falun. Yeah, that's cool. Oh, goodness. It's time for me to put in a break. Okay. We're going to go back over here. Get this out of my YouTube. Time flies when you're having fun, right? But good progress. This Creole is shaping up. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.